The woman was about to end her life when she heard Steve Harvey say something on TV that stopped her. 2 years later, she surprised him with the truth that changed everything and proved that sometimes a few words spoken with love can save a life you'll never even know about. It was March 15th, 2019, and 32-year-old Amanda Chen had made her final decision. After 2 years of battling severe depression following her divorce, the loss of her job, and a custody battle that had taken away her children, she couldn't see any reason to continue living. Amanda had spent weeks planning this moment. She had written letters to her children, explaining why Mummy couldn't stay anymore. She had organized her few remaining possessions. She had even cleaned her small apartment, so that whoever found her wouldn't have to deal with a mess. The bottle of pills sat on her coffee table as she waited for what she had decided would be the right time. Her children were with their father for the week, so no one would find her for days. It seemed perfect in her broken mind. At 2 p.m. that afternoon, Amanda decided it was time. She picked up the bottle of sleeping pills she had been saving and poured them into her hand. All she needed was a glass of water, and her pain would finally be over. The TV was on in the background. She had left it on for noise because the silence in her apartment felt too heavy. The Steve Harvey Show was playing, but Amanda wasn't really watching. She was focused on the pills in her palm and gathering the courage to take them. But as she stood up to get water from the kitchen, Steve Harvey's voice cut through her fog of despair. "You know what?" Steve was saying to a guest who had been talking about feeling worthless. "I need to tell everyone watching this right now something important. If you're going through a hard time, if you feel like nobody cares about you, if you think the world would be better without you, you're wrong." Amanda stopped walking. Something in Steve's tone made her turn toward the television. "I don't care what you're going through right now," Steve continued, looking directly into the camera with an intensity Amanda had never seen from him before. "I don't care how much debt you have, how many people have hurt you, how many times you've failed. Your story isn't over yet." Amanda felt something stir inside her, a feeling she hadn't experienced in months. "You matter," Steve said, his voice getting more passionate. "Your life has purpose. The world needs what you have to offer, even if you can't see it right now. And your children, if you have children, they need you more than you know, even if they can't be with you right now." Amanda's hand began to shake. Steve was talking about children. Her children. Michael, who was 8, and Emma, who was 6. The children she had lost in the custody battle because her depression had made her seem unfit. "I know life is hard," Steve continued. "I know it feels like the pain will never end, but pain is not permanent. Sadness is not forever. And you yes, you watching this right now, you are stronger than you think you are." Amanda sank back onto her couch, the pills still clutched in her hand. "Tomorrow might be the day everything changes," Steve said. "Next week might be when you meet the person who changes your life. Next month might be when you get the opportunity you've been waiting for, but you have to be here to see it." Amanda started crying, the first tears she had shed in weeks that weren't born of despair, but of something else. Hope, maybe. Or at least the memory of what hope felt like. "If you're thinking about giving up," Steve said, and Amanda felt like he was speaking directly to her, "I want you to promise me something. Promise me you'll wait 24 hours. Just 24 hours. And if you still feel the same way tomorrow, call someone, call a hotline, call a friend, call your mama, but don't give up today." Steve looked into the camera with such sincerity that Amanda felt seen for the first time in months. "Your story matters. Your pain has purpose. And your life, your beautiful, complicated, difficult life is worth living. Amanda looked down at the pills in her hand, then at the TV where Steve was now talking to his guest about finding strength in dark times. Slowly, Amanda walked to the bathroom and poured the pills back into the bottle. She wasn't sure she wanted to live, but Steve Harvey had asked her to wait 24 hours. She could do that for him. Those 24 hours turned into a week. The week turned into a month. Amanda found a therapist, started taking antidepressants, and began the long journey back to mental health. She got a part-time job at a bookstore. She started fighting for visitation rights with her children. She began to believe that maybe, just maybe, her story wasn't over yet. For 2 years, Amanda carried the memory of that afternoon when Steve Harvey's words had saved her life. She had never told anyone about what almost happened that day, but she thought about Steve often and wondered if he had any idea that his words had literally saved a stranger's life. In March 2021, exactly 2 years after her darkest day, Amanda decided to write a letter to Steve Harvey. "Dear Mr. Harvey," she began, "you don't know me, but you saved my life. 2 years ago, I was about to commit suicide when you said something on your show that stopped me. I want to thank you and tell you how my life has changed since that day." Amanda's letter detailed her journey from that dark afternoon to where she was now, employed, in therapy and fighting to rebuild her relationship with her children. "I know you probably get thousands of letters," she wrote, "but I needed you to know that your words matter more than you realize. When you told me to wait 24 hours, you gave me the gift of hope when I had none left." 3 weeks later, Amanda got a phone call that changed everything. "Amanda, this is Janet Miller from the Steve Harvey Show. Mr. Harvey received your letter, and he would very much like to meet you." Amanda started crying immediately. "He wants to meet me? He was deeply moved by your story. Would you be willing to come on the show? He wants to hear more about your journey and to talk about the importance of mental health awareness." 2 weeks later, Amanda found herself sitting in the green room of the Steve Harvey Show, more nervous than she had ever been in her life. She was about to meet the man whose words had literally saved her life. When Steve walked into the green room before the taping, he looked at Amanda with an expression of awe and humility. "Amanda," he said softly, "thank you for writing that letter. Thank you for saying what you said that day." Amanda replied, standing up to shake his hand. "Can I hug you?" Steve asked. "I feel like I need to hug you." Their embrace was emotional and healing. Steve held Amanda like she was his own daughter, and Amanda hugged him like the father figure who had saved her life. "Amanda," Steve said when they separated, "I need you to know something. I don't remember saying those specific words that day. I don't remember that show, but God used me to speak to you when you needed it most. You told me to wait 24 hours. Amanda said, "That's all I needed." During the actual interview, Amanda told her story with courage and honesty. She talked about her depression, her suicidal thoughts, and the exact moment when Steve's words had penetrated her despair. "Steve," Amanda said during the interview, "I want people to know that words have power. You had no idea I was listening that day, but what you said saved my life." Steve was visibly emotional throughout the interview. "Amanda, I'm just a man trying to help people, but you're proof that we never know who's listening or how much they might need to hear something positive. What would you say to someone who's in the place I was in 2 years ago?" Amanda asked. Steve looked directly into the camera, just as he had that day in 2019. "If you're watching this and you're in a dark place, I want you to hear Amanda's story and know that it gets better. It really does get better. You might not believe it today, but you have to trust those of us who have been where you are and made it through." And Amanda added, "If you're thinking about giving up, please wait. Wait 24 hours. Wait a week. Call someone. Get help. Because your story isn't over yet." The most powerful moment of the interview came when Steve asked Amanda about her children. "I have visitation with them now," Amanda said, smiling through her tears. "Every other weekend. And you know what? They're proud of me for getting help. My daughter Emma told me last week that she's glad I'm her brave mommy." Steve had to stop the interview for a moment because he was too emotional to continue. "Amanda," he finally said, "you didn't just save your own life that day, you saved your children's lives too. They get to have their mother because you chose to live." After the interview, Steve and Amanda continued to stay in touch. Steve invited her to events, asked about her progress, and became a genuine friend and mentor. 6 months later, Amanda called Steve with news that made him cry. "Steve, I got full custody of my children back. The judge said my commitment to mental health treatment showed that I was ready to be their primary parent again." "Amanda, that's incredible. And Steve, I want you to know, Michael and Emma know about you. They know that Uncle Steve helped save their mummy. They want to meet you someday." A year later, Steve arranged for Amanda and her children to visit his show. Michael and Emma got to meet the man who had helped save their mother's life. And Steve got to see the family that existed because he had chosen to speak words of hope on a random Tuesday afternoon. "Mr. Steve," Emma said when she met him, "thank you for helping my mummy not be sad anymore." Steve knelt down to Emma's level. "Sweetheart, your mummy is the bravest person I know. She fought to get better so she could be the best mummy for you and your brother." The episode about Amanda's story became one of the most impactful in Steve Harvey Show history. It sparked conversations about mental health, generated thousands of calls to suicide prevention hotlines, and reminded viewers that their words have power to heal or harm. Steve began incorporating more mental health awareness into his show, often ending episodes with reminders that life is worth living and help is available. "Amanda taught me that we never know who's listening," Steve said in a later interview. "She taught me that every word we speak has the potential to change someone's life. I take that responsibility much more seriously now." Amanda went on to become a mental health advocate, sharing her story at conferences and schools. She started a blog called Wait 24 Hours, where she shared resources for people in crisis and stories of hope from other survivors. "Steve Harvey didn't just save my life that day," Amanda often says when she tells her story. "He taught me that hope can come from the most unexpected places, and that sometimes all someone needs is for one person to tell them their life matters." Today, Amanda works as a peer counselor at a mental health clinic, helping other people who are where she was on that dark March afternoon. She keeps a photo of herself with Steve and her children on her desk, a reminder that the darkest moments can lead to the most beautiful stories. If this powerful story of hope, healing, and the life-saving power of words moved you, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Share this video with someone who might need to hear that their life matters. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, help is available. My Tal 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Remember, your story isn't over yet. Let us know in the comments about a time when someone's words made a difference in your life. And don't forget to ring that notification bell for more stories about the incredible power of hope and human connection.